Hello, my friends. Jill Ortiz here in my empowered fitness community for women over 40 looking to get energized, confident, and strong. It's Wednesday, and every Wednesday in my Facebook group, I do a weekly Q&A session. I post it on YouTube. I email it out to make sure everybody's getting this amazing information, answering your questions on fitness, nutrition, hormones, fat loss, all the different things, menopause. And so I'm here to answer some questions today. If you come on live, you are welcome to ask me questions live. You can message me questions. If you want, you can book a call with me. It's called a game plan call. This is a free one-on-one session, you and me. It's 45 minutes. It's an opportunity for us to get to know each other, to see if we want to work together, to see where you're at, where you want to be, and what the missing pieces are to get you there. And so I'm happy to have you here. Every Monday we do Monday motivation, and then Wednesday we do this live at noon Eastern for your Q&As. So the questions and answers are coming from the newest ladies to join our group. So welcome everybody. I'm happy to have you here. I've got a spreadsheet here on my computer. So if you see me looking to the side, it's because I'm looking at my spreadsheet for the questions. And then I did take some notes on some of the answers for some of these questions. So we're going to start today with Yvonne. Yvonne said when she joined our group that what's holding her back from achieving her goals for her health and fitness are her energy. She said she's too tired to exercise, cook, and eat healthy. So she's asking me the question, why does it seem like the scale won't move no matter what I do? And I think that it's probably quite clear that Yvonne is not giving the consistency that she needs to the healthy habits that will get her to her goals. If she's saying that she's got no energy and she's not exercising, she's not cooking, and she's not eating clean, then it's quite clear as to why she's not achieving her goals. Perhaps she's giving up too soon on those healthy habits, and so they're not sticking long enough for her to get to her goals. So that's probably going to be your answer, Yvonne, is that you're not actually doing the work to get the results. And I see that all the time, right? We have more that we can give. And I always use my kids as examples. If they are not doing their best on the soccer field, then perhaps they need to work on conditioning. Perhaps they need to be getting more touches in practice each day. Perhaps they, like my son last night, when he got off the soccer field, he said to me, "Mommy, I want to start lifting tomorrow." So he's understanding that he's going to have to get stronger to go up against his competitors. So I think oftentimes we're not actually giving it everything we can, but we're expecting the same results that others are getting. So I think that's a big part of it. With regards to energy as well, I want to address this. Yvonne says she has no energy, but she's not exercising, and exercising is necessary to build energy, right? Think about this. You've got one person, I'm not going to say a name because then somebody's going to be offended out there. You've got one lady who sits on the couch every afternoon and evening and sleeps in. And you've got another woman who gets up at 5, 6 a.m., gets a workout in, gets home from work or school or wherever she is, and she walks her dogs and plays with her kids and grandkids and, and gets outside and gets fresh air. She's consistently building energy. She's building a body that has more energy, right? Same thing if we have woman A who is eating healthy breakfast, lunches, dinners, and snacks versus woman B who is stopping for fast food and eating unhealthy all day. Which one's going to have more energy? So I think your energy question or your energy problem is answered by the same thing, is that you're not doing the work to build energy, to be an energetic person, right? And so we have to understand what it takes to do those things, because sometimes if we exercise too much, we are actually going to get exhausted. And if we don't eat enough or eat properly, we are also going to get exhausted, right? So these are all interconnected. So what we need is we need a great plan. We need to be consistent and accountable to that plan. And then you're going to see everything's going to turn around. Your energy is going to turn around and your scale is going to start moving again. All right. That's your answer, Yvonne. All right, we've got Noreen. She says what's holding her back is she's in serious pain. So I think, Noreen, we need to have that one-on-one call and talk about what this pain is caused by. Do we have an autoimmune disorder? Do you have an injury? Is it the extra weight you're carrying around? She says she wants to lose 100 pounds. So that's a significant amount of weight, especially if it's excess weight. That will put pressure on your joints and bones. And it may hold you back from doing the work that you need to be doing to get to a healthier place. Her question is, why do a lot of people speak about not losing weight until you fix your cells on a cellular level, but they don't go into great detail on how to fix several organs that need to release and get rid of toxins? I, for one, do not hear a lot of people speaking on this, but perhaps if you've searched that online, then that will come up, Noreen. I have not necessarily researched that, but I did do a little bit of research and I took some notes down. And I do think that's an excellent question. And nobody's ever asked me that. I do a lot of work on the cellular level and I take supplements to help my cells work at their best. And, and that's funny because I've been getting a lot of questions lately about my hair, not questions, but comments about my hair. Like, Jill, your hair is growing so fast, right? And I attribute that to a lot of the supplements I take that go down to that cellular level in my organs. Collagen, greens, a lot of adaptogens, a lot of hydration, plenty of protein. All these things are getting my body to its healthiest at the cellular level. Each of my cells is the healthiest it can be, right? I'm sure it could be healthier, but I do a lot of things and I'm trying to be in alignment to make sure that my body is working well. And when that happens, my hair grows and it's hydrated and it's beautiful, right? And Shine Spray helps too. So when it comes to weight loss, we'll talk about this. It's not just about calories in, calories out. Your body and your organs have to be in a good place. They can't be super stressed and inflamed. And so what happens when your body is just kind of like out of order and all whacked out because you're not taking good care of it, then your metabolism can slow down to try to protect you and to protect your organs. So that's why you might hear people say, you have to get your body to its healthiest self. You have to get your cells into a great place where they're not overloaded with stress. Okay. And so then the organs that are going to help you with detoxifying and balance are going to be your liver, your gut, your kidneys, and even your hormones. And so we don't want or need extreme cleanses and detoxes and all this stuff, though. To get these things back in order, we need to be aligning ourselves to reduce inflammation and to do less of the things that add toxins and stress to our body. So eating cleaner, eating an anti-inflammatory diet, hydrating yourself well, managing your stress, getting good recovery and sleep, getting your movement in. These are all things that are going to help your body naturally detoxify itself, because that's what your body does. It has, and we do have, anomalies where people's liver or, pancreas don't work properly. And we have medications for those to help thyroid, to help our body do the processes if they're not working, but they should in general work very well to detoxify on their own. And so what aligns with what I do is that I'm trying to help get the stress to go away, because the way I see it is you're on train tracks, right? And the train tracks split. You've got the stress way and you've got your weight loss way, or your aligned way that's going to take you to your best self. And so you can't be on this stress train going that way and wanting to get to your goals. So what I do is try to take all these different pillars and align them all. And that will more naturally help you even down to the cellular level. Okay, so hopefully that answers that question. It's going to be important to be engaging in healthy habits, and your cells and your fat can all be, aligned at the same time. Okay. All right. Next we have Kelly, and Kelly says time and resources are holding her back. And she wants to know, this was an interesting question that nobody's ever asked me either. She said, what advice out there is legitimate? And I think I'm sure there's a lot of advice out there that is legitimate advice. And there's probably a lot of bogus stuff out there and gimmicks and, and all those things. But I think, the truth is generally the most boring basics are the legitimate things, right? Like prioritizing protein. I'm sure you hear that all the time. It's legitimate. It's going to help you stabilize your blood sugar. It's going to help you maintain your muscle mass. And it's going to help you speed your metabolism. So that is going to be an important focus. That is not bogus. That is legit. Prioritizing strength training over cardio. That is legit advice for women over 40 who want to keep their metabolism healthy, keep their bone healthy, and not lose all of their amazing muscle, right? And want to stay tight and toned. What else? Managing stress, recovery, and getting plenty of sleep. That is legitimate advice, because if your body is worn down and exhausted, then things are not going to work right, and your body is going to struggle to stay in alignment, to be focused on your goals instead of just focused on survival, right? Supporting your hormones naturally through nutrition and movement. That's legitimate advice. You can do that naturally, but also having conversations with your doctors and professionals about hormone replacement therapy, if that's something that is going to help you with symptoms management. You should not be miserable. There are things out there that can help you. And so don't be afraid of that anymore, and explore it. Do your research. And so that's what I would say is you're going to hear a lot of that stuff. Anything to you that sounds like a gimmick, that talks about restriction and there's only one way to do things, those are things that I might question. And it's not that they're not legitimate, it's that they may not be aligned with you and what you enjoy in your lifestyle. So I think you need to go with something that sounds like it aligns with your values and your lifestyle, and with somebody who you feel you can trust. And I know that you can't just always trust every stranger online, so you have to build trust. And that's why I like to go live and do these things. I like to do phone calls and Zoom calls before I sign people up in my program, just to see that we're a good fit and that we do align. Okay. All right, let's take a look at who's next. We've got Cheryl, and Cheryl says she's lacking motivation and time to work out. So let's start there. So Cheryl, you got to go back and watch the Motivation Monday Pep Talk from 2 days ago in our group here. And in that one, I talked about not quitting, right? The only way to lose is to quit. And then last week, we talked a lot about motivation. I did on Tuesday because I couldn't squeeze it in on Monday. That was a great one too. If you go to my YouTube channel, you can watch all of them. In Facebook, they disappear after 30 days. But generally, I pin them to the top of our group. But you can look through my YouTube's channel, Jill Ortiz Fitness. Just look that up on YouTube. And you will be able to see all of my motivation pep talks. Time, I don't like that excuse. I know a lot of us have busy schedules. I've already said today that I have more stuff that needs to get done than I'm going to be able to do. So we have to prioritize, and prioritizing your health and wellness is super important. So you have to make the time. But I understand busy schedules. Not every trainer does. I joined a program not realizing that the workouts are going to be an hour and a half to 2 hours long, which I think is ridiculous. And I create programs that are 10 to about 30 minutes on average. And I have one 45-minute a day, 4 days a week program. That is for those who are advanced and looking to do that extra. So you can find 10 minutes a day for your workouts. every single day. And if you're not making that time, then you need to reevaluate if there's things that you can be taking off your plate, delegating, or delaying until another time, right? I remember somebody taught me that delete, delay, delegate, delete, delay, delegate, I don't know, and something else. That'll come to me later. Okay, and then Cheryl had a question. She wanted to know, do macros matter? And so, yes, macros matter, but I don't think they matter in the way people would think, because that would mean, like, are you saying that you have to be tracking your calories and your fats and your proteins and your carbs all day, every day in an app in order to be successful? No, I don't believe that. I do teach macros. I don't generally teach it in that way that you would be tracking all day in an app. You'll never find me doing that. I will never do macros that way. But macros refers, for those who don't know, refers to protein, fat, and carbs, and how that makes up the entirety of the food that we eat. Everything goes into one of those three buckets. And yes, it's important. Macros are important because they need to be balanced. They need to be balanced appropriately, and for everybody it's going to be different. They need to all be consumed. So any diet that is eliminating your carbs or your fats or your proteins, that's not right, because they all have their function, right? So protein you need for building muscle, for hormone support, for hunger control. Your carbs, you need them for quick energy. You need them for sustained energy. You need them for brain health. You need them for hydration. Your fats you're going to need for hormone support. They are the carriers of all the nutrients to your organs in your food, and they're also going to help you with hunger control. So you need to be having those. And a really, really great example is the fact that my son Jackson started lifting today. He did not go to bed early enough last night for his 6:30 a.m. wake up so that he could get his lifting session in before school. So the kid did not get enough sleep, and then he did not eat enough breakfast this morning because he already called me from school at the nurse's office saying he's exhausted and wants to come home. I told him if she can find him some juice to make it until lunchtime, then his blood sugar is probably low. He probably didn't eat enough. I'm going to have to teach him about the importance of protein when he gets home, because all he had was a chocolate chip Belgian waffle and maybe some fruit. And so I need to now teach him the importance of fat and protein in the morning before he goes to school if he's going to be lifting. So these are critical. Yes, they're important. But do you have to be a calorie counter? No. That's why I teach 4 different frameworks for nutrition, including portion control, macros, mindful eating, and menopausal eating. They all have their different ways to do nutrition, and they all have some aspect of the macronutrient balances. But in a lot of them, you're not going to know the exact calories and grams of what you're eating, okay? All right. I hope that makes sense. Enlightening, right? Let's look at Kula, who I have a call with today. She says her hormones are holding her back. She wants to lose 20 to 25 pounds, and she wants to know, why am I not losing weight that used to be easy for her to lose? She and I are going to go over this on our call today. We're going to go through the whole gamut of what she's eating, nutrition, her fitness regimen, how she's changed it in this new phase of life, or not changed it. We can talk about her hormones. We can ask her if she's had any kind of hormone panel done. I will be touching with her on stress, sleep, alcohol, recovery, all these things. So we're going to talk through all of this, and then by the end of that call, we're going to have a really clear picture on why this 20 to 25 pounds has been so hard for her to lose. And if she wants to move forward with me, then we will move forward and create a plan and put it into action to start losing that weight right away. All right. Sarah, she just mentioned she's hoping that she can stay with it. I'm not sure if she's talking about staying with a plan has been hard for her, but Sarah, let's set up a call. We can go over what's going on with you. We've got Dawn. Her goal is to feel good about herself. She's asking if she can lose weight after menopause. 100%. There's no reason why you can't if you're doing the right things. That's the simple answer to that. Okay. Lauren, who joined the program a couple weeks ago, says time is holding her back. And again, it's all about priorities. And if this is important, then you'll make the time. Maybe we need to give up some other things or manage our time, move things around. And her question was funny. She said, how can it take months to lose 3 pounds and then only one night of a big meal to gain 4? And I understand that's frustrating. Sometimes we just are not being consistent with our habits. And sometimes if we're putting on 4 pounds in a night, it's probably because we ate something salty, right? And that's water retention, or we ate a lot and it's just sitting there. And so that's not going to be permanent weight. We more want to be looking at permanent changes to our body. And that's not always going to be weight loss. It may be a recomposition of your body. Would you rather be 6 sizes smaller but the same weight, or would you rather lose weight and still be unhappy with the shape of your body and your tone? So it generally takes us longer to lose the weight because we're really not as diligent as we think we are in doing the things we need to do. And a lot of us are just kind of like free balling it and just thinking we're doing the right things, but not actually positive that we are, and not following that plan, that perfect plan, for long enough. So weight loss might be slow to start. For some people, it could be slow to start. For some people, it could be quick to start. I know that Lauren lost 3 pounds last week. So obviously that was something that she can do. Now it's a matter of continuing on the path and being consistent and accountable to the same thing that helped you lose that weight, and not the things that are going to quickly make you gain weight, right? So I would tell you that anytime you go out to dinner, even with healthy choices, quite often, you still might see that little blip on the scale. Just know that you either don't go on it the day after because you can regulate it right back down, or you just be ready for it and know that you're going to have these little blips here and there, but that's not going to be your permanent place. That's not, who you are. One meal is not going to define who you are and where your body's going to stay. Okay. It's just a little blip on the scale, and that the scale fluctuates multiple pounds up and down throughout the day, every day anyways. Okay. That shouldn't be the measure of our input, what we're doing. Okay. Kathy, we're running out of time. Kathy says stress and lack of desire, or lack of funds and desire for fat and sugar are holding her back. She wants to know, how does she fix her cortisol levels? She said she needs to lower her blood glucose. Her fasted overnight glucose level is 105. So many of you may not be familiar with those blood glucose numbers, and that doesn't really matter. But your cortisol and your blood sugar are closely linked. Cortisol is your stress hormone. It is a good thing and a bad thing. So it's good because it releases when you're under stress and it helps you with those fight or flight responses. It's bad if you're constantly stressed and you're constantly in a state of high cortisol, because then you're just going to be storing belly fat for the most part. And that could be from lack of sleep, constant stress, over exercising, under eating, amongst many other things. So first we have to work on alignment of these pillars. And these are the pillars of my programming, right? So fitness, nutrition, sleep, stress, and hormones. And so we need to make sure that we're keeping our blood sugar regulated. And so that's going to be helped with all those things coming together in alignment. And then you're going to see that blood glucose even out and come down. Okay. So sleep, stress, nutrition, exercise. And then the last thing is caffeine and alcohol. That can also be another one that is going to spike your blood sugar and spike your cortisol. Alrighty. Lena says motivation is holding her back. Lena, go watch either on YouTube or in our group. Watch my last 2 Motivation Monday pep talks. They were good ones. They're going to help you a lot. And she asks, what should I be eating? Protein versus carbs versus calories. Again, if you want to be working with macronutrients and understanding the exact calories and then the breakdown of your proteins, carbs, and fats, that is something that I teach in my programming. I actually taught that this morning to my new client, Tanya. She's one of my newest clients. And we went through and we calculated her proper calories for a more aggressive weight loss. So we need to understand our goals. What are we looking to achieve? That's going to help us with the calculation. We took into account her current weight, our exercise plan for her, and we came up with a calorie amount that she should be focused on as a type A personality who really wants that control. And then we talked about the importance of proteins, carbs, and healthy fats, and we decided on the appropriate ratios for somebody like her at her age. And so that's what we did. And so we can give you the same education. I can do it within my programming. I can do it as a DIY sort of program, or I can work with you on nutrition only coaching. That's the kind of thing we would discuss, Lena, on one of our game plan calls. The link is here for you if you want to sign up for one, and we can talk about that. So that's where you figure that out. And then the last question comes from Tammy. She says, I think the main thing holding me back is my love for food. I need to learn how to unlove food. She says, can I get back the life I had before menopause? Well, let's go to the second question first, because that just came into my head, is yes and no. So asking for the life you had before menopause is like being post-teenager in your 20s and asking for your preteen body. So no, you're never getting that straight, flat, body again that had no fat on it. So in the same manner, you're gonna have a new body post-menopause. It doesn't mean you don't have any control over your body and your life, but I think what is a better approach than trying to be who you were pre-teens or pre-puberty, pre-kids, is embrace this part of life. Embrace this stage for what it is, that you most likely know who you are, you have conviction, you have wisdom, and you are going to be the best version of yourself in your post-menopause life. This is going to bring you so much more joy than trying to be something else than what you are right now. And I will tell you, there are so many cultures out there that appreciate women, who embrace women who are post-menopause and don't try to make them like 30-year-old movie stars, and they are happier for it and they live longer for it. So let's figure out how to embrace who we are now and become the best version of ourselves now, okay? Going back to your question or your statement, Tammy, I think the main thing holding me back is my love for food. I need to learn how to unlove food. That is absolutely not true. Food is a joy. Food is something that sustains us. It's something that brings our cultures together. It's something that brings families and friends together. You do not have to learn how to unlove food. You need to embrace food and learn how to eat it in a healthy way, how to work in the foods that you love that may not be the most healthy. I love certain things that maybe aren't always the best for me, but we just have to learn how to incorporate the things we love, incorporate new things, learn to love new things, and fill our days with foods that make us feel satisfied and full of energy. And so I will tell you that I love my zucchini quiche that I've been eating for breakfast the last 3 days. It makes me so happy. I love my chicken Caesar salads that I've been eating for lunch the last 3 days. And even this morning, because my son ate all the croutons last night, and croutons are my favorite part of the Caesar salad, I made new homemade croutons this morning. So I'm very excited for that. I love chocolate, and I drink a chocolate shake in the morning, and I drink a chocolate shake in the afternoon, and I drink my chocolate, sleepy time hot chocolate at night. You know, there's so many things. I love fruity things. I love so many things, and I don't stop eating them. I love to fill my days, and I am what I call a hungry beast. And so what I went to my gynecologist a month ago, and I said to her, I'm starving all the time. I'm always hungry. I'm never satisfied. And so you know what she told me? Jill, you know, eat more. Just keep eating more food, eat higher fat content because that will satiate you more, healthy fats, and you will feel so much better. What did I do? I went home, I rejiggered my meal plan, I added more calories, I added more fat, and I feel amazing. And it's easier for me to stick to my meal plan when my meal plan includes more calories, all right, and more exciting foods that have more fat. They're tastier. So I would say the same thing for you, Tammy, but what we need to do is we need to kind of figure out that baseline of what works, keeps your hunger at bay, energizes you, keeps you satisfied. Figure out a place to start and then tweak as we go. All right. You guys have a wonderful day. Book your game plan call. I will see you next Monday. And don't forget, my 5-day menopause makeover is $5 this week, but I am, doggies. My husband just got home. That is going up to $27 next week. So be sure to get the 5-day menopause makeover now. I included the link and I also posted about it yesterday. Give me a shout if you have any questions. All right. Craziness over. Bye.